Here with us this morning at Forex Smart Trade. Our goal is to help you become the best version of yourself, and we do that by helping people become financially independent, by teaching them how to currency trade using our proprietary indicators and best in the business training. So I'm glad you could be here this morning. Let's see what we have available for trades. Just real quick, like to try to work through a routine, like to be systematic in what we do. And with that, I have a little bit of a checklist that I go through every day when I start trading. First thing is I like to review what did the previous day, especially pay attention to the any negative trades that I had. So in our case, since we're trading once a week, let us, oops, what do we got here? Hold on a second. What do I got here? Why aren't I showing the right thing? This custom period. We want from last week to this week. Here we go. All right. So last week, in this session, we primarily are going to use two trade signals. One is called a thick orange line trade. The other is the 10-point trade. There are over a dozen different signals that can be used to find a good trade. Those are the ones that usually teach during the introductory session. So we will, since we have introductory people on here, those are the ones we'll focus on. Last week we didn't find a 10-point trade. We did find a thick orange line trade. We took it for 5 pips on the Euro CAD. Next item is I like to check the news, and actually one of the things I do before we even actually get to this point is I do like to always check, make sure I'm connected to the internet. I do that by seeing that we're green up here on the top left corner, and then I also check to see that I've got a live chart, that it's green down in this right hand corner. I could go back a period, and as I start going back, this becomes red. So I want to make sure that I am looking at a current chart. Every once in a while I go back. If you forget to bring the chart current, you're looking at the wrong thing, and might cause you to make a mistake. So let's take a look at the Forex Factory news, forexfactory.com. And today is Tuesday the 19th. News is broken down into 3 classes: the yellow low impact, the orange medium impact, and the red high impact. So today the pound had some news earlier this morning. That's already been accounted for in the market. What we've got coming up is at 10 a.m. the U.S. or Fed Powell, Chairman Powell from the Fed testifies. That might impact the dollar. I would imagine he's just going to talk about how they've got all sorts of tricks up their sleeve to make sure the U.S. economy stays functional and will recover after coronavirus. But as our indicators are technical, we want to stay away. Any trade we take, it's early enough where I think we would be out before 10 a.m. So we will think about that as we take our trade. G7 meetings, nothing we can do about that. that's all day long if something comes up. So we've taken a look at the news, and now we will start with our analysis. We'll first start with looking for a 10-point trade, and then as we get toward the top of the hour, we'll see if there's any thick orange line trade there. One last piece of information is in addition to this live trade, if you're not attending, you should try to attend as many of the live trades that the company puts on as possible. Here is a schedule of those live trades. These one in orange are ones that are just for lights. During the trial, the goal is to get comfortable, see that the indicators work, and by copying the trades that these people do here, you'll see how accurate you'll eventually become. So Mondays and Thursdays, there's the LIT. These are at 10 p.m., which is the same time as the AIT. For your first week, you should attend all the LIT sessions after your first week. You don't need to go to the LITs. On Wednesday night, there is a light member meeting where they'll give some instruction. And then also at 10 p.m., there is the AIT, which is the Australian Impact Trade, where at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, it is morning time in Australia, so they will be taking trades on Australian pairs. Sunday at 6 p.m. is the Sunday afternoon trade. So go to as many of these as possible. Once you become get into coaching, you have access to, in addition to these sessions that the lights can go to, you'll have access to the MIT, which is a trade that's done in the morning impact trade. You get access to additional training on Saturday with the Back to the Basics. And on Wednesday night, instead of a light training session, there's an advanced training session. Then on top of that, there's a paid session at 6 p.m. Mondays through Thursdays with Dale called the Overnight Impact Trade, which is a little bit like what I send out to you where I'm giving you an overnight trade. One last bit of news is starting in June, we will start doing a trade on Thursdays at 11:30 Eastern Time. And in order to get into that session, you'll need to provide a referral, and we'll give you 60 days access to that session. It will be run by me, Phil, John, Eileen, people who are part of the Forex Smart Trade team. We will go through regular techniques. We will go through other techniques, other trading styles that we like and use. So if you have a friend, share it. That's why I've shared it with you, because I like it, and it'll bring good things to you. All right, so enough with that. Let's go and take a look at what we've got for potential trades. On the 10-point trade, you will see we are looking for the market to be overbought or oversold. And when it is overbought, I am looking for in the majors and minors, I'm looking for the lines to be pointed down. Right now, the lines are pointed up. Now, right before we get on, generally, I don't like to take a trade when the lines are up here. I want them to be oversold and catch it on the way up through the channel. But this line is so steep, I did take a 10 pip buy just a little bit before we got on, even though we were overbought. because the pressure is just so steep. So with respect to the 10-point, we got nothing here. Pound dollar, we are overbought, but the lines aren't pointing down. The majors are still kind of going sideways. Minors are pointing down, but I really care about what the majors are doing. Australian US dollar, we're kind of overbought. We're just starting to get in there. We're starting to go down in the channel and then turned. So I don't have them pointing down. Dollar Swiss franc, oversold, but pointing down. I want them pointing up. And because all of these are U.S. currencies, I'm going to see a similar pattern with most of them. Dollar yen, overbought, pointing up. And U.S. Canadian, we're kind of in the middle of the channel still. So nothing on this first pair. Let's go to the next group. And what I've done is I've created a second pairing of 6 with different with non-U.S. pairs here. So a euro pound, overbought, pointing up. Overbought, pointing up. Euro CAD, overbought, pointing up. Australian New Zealand dollar, oversold. Minors are pointing up, majors aren't there yet. New Zealand USD, overbought, pointing up. Euro AUD, overbought, pointing up. So nothing on those 12. Australian Canadian, overbought. They started to go down and then turned sideways. So no good. Swiss franc yen, overbought, going up. Overbought. Minors are started to come down. Majors still going up. This little pattern here with the majors, where you've kind of got like a duckbill. This is a signal that it's going to probably keep going up a little bit more. And we do have very steep pressure here. So, but again, I don't want to, I'm not familiar enough with this pair to, I don't want to play around with something that I'm not comfortable with. Without the clear signal that I know works. So, pound Australian dollar, overbought, starting to turn, not quite there. New Zealand Swiss franc, overbought. Actually, the minors have already run all the way through the channel, but the majors are going sideways, so we're not there yet. And then CAD, Swiss franc, oversold, but not pointing up. So wow, we got nothing even close. So let's go back and see if we might have a 10-point trade, or excuse me, a thick orange line trade coming up. So what I was doing there is if I've got the first part of signal, then I would go to the TNTs and see that they confirmed, and then I'd go to the pressure to see that they confirmed. But as we didn't have anything close on the majors and minors, there was no need to go to the other indicator, parts of the indicators. With the majors and minors, I am looking for this number. This is the scale of the thick orange line. I'm looking for it to either be 0. When it's at 0, it's at the end of the scale, or minus 100, or within 10 points of either. If I get it on either end of the scale, if it's at 0, that's suggesting that the market has topped out and is going to start going down. When it's at minus 100, that suggests the market has bottomed out and is going up. But what I want is confirmation of that, and that confirmation I'm going to get by looking at the majors and minors. So I'm just going to go across and look at this number and see if it's at 0 or minus 10. And if it is, then I'm going to look for the confirmation. And the 0, when I say 0 minus 10, I'm talking within 10 points of either. So minus 65, no. Minus 64, no. Minus 82, no. Minus 71, no. Minus 13 is kind of close. And I've got all four lines well above the overbought line. Minus 12, that is pretty close. But here, I don't have any of the lines above the overbought line. They're all down here. So, no. Let's go ahead. Euro pound, minus 9, all four lines above. So this is a prospective trade, euro pound. A sell trade for 5. It's a little early. So let's keep looking. And when I say a little early, I want the time remaining right up here to be ideally about 5 minutes left in the hour. Some traders on this trade will actually wait till the new candle forms, and then they'll look for this number to jump by 10. I found that when we're overbought, and this is pretty overbought significantly, we'll get that little 5-pip drop off of it. So euro pound, we're looking for a sell trade for 5 pips. Australian yen, minus 74, no. Euro CAD, Canadian dollar, minus 10. Minus 10, and we've got all four lines above. So Euro CAD is a sell. On the thick orange. So we've got 2 potential trades, minus 66, no. Minus 77, no. Euro Australian dollar, minus 6, yes. All four lines above. And you'll notice all 3 of these have the euro in it. So the euro is kind of driving this. Again, a sell for 5. Let's go ahead, keep going. Minus 88 is close, but our indicators aren't oversold. So when this is down here, I'd want these lines down here. Minus 14 is close, but we've got a better trade. It's not quite there yet. 49, no. 18, not close enough. 93 is within 10 of minus 100, but the lines are way up here. I want them down here. And minus 100 on the CAD CHF, and all my lines are down here. And in fact, it's been at minus 100 for 2 hours. Last hour it's here, this hour it's here. Actually, let's see where it was at the top of last hour. So last hour, we were at minus 100. The lines weren't quite there. We're just getting to the red. It went down more. Now it's starting to come back. So that is a buy. So let us, and we've got, we're just about 10 minutes there. So let's go ahead and start taking some of these trades. So I'm going to open up my my chart. We'll go backwards. So the CAD, CHF. So first I've got to open that chart up. Open the chart up. I'm going to go to File, New Chart, and I'm going to look for CAD, CHF. Not in this group. Not in this group. Now I'm going to see if I can find them in here. CAD, CHF right here. I am going to just put a different template on there. This is going to be now, I am going to take 4 trades. Since I am taking 4 trades, we need to think about our lot size and risk management. Normally, on this demo account's got $8,400 in it. So I could take a 0.8 I move this decimal place over 4 spots to figure out what my lot size is. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 0.84. Now, since I'm going to take 4 trades, when I do a 0.84 lot size, I can have 2 open trades and keep my margin level above 1,000 or around 1,000. I want to keep that margin level around 1,000 or better, so that if I have a problem trade, I've got margin to work out of it. So since I'm taking 4 trades, I'm going to reduce my lot size down to half a 0.84. So that'll be 0.42. 0.42. So I've got the chart open. I go to the second row here and grab new order, and it pops up this window. So I'm going to go to points. I'm going to go half of 0.84, so I'm going to go to 0.42. So 0.42, and we said this was a buy. Click buy. I'm going to do my trade in 2 steps. One is the actual buy sell, and then once the trade is recorded, I highlight it by just clicking anywhere along the line. I right click, go to modify. I am going to change my parameters to 0.52, which is 5.2 pips, and we'll put right now for new traders, you are going to use 4 times whatever the potential take profit is. When I trade, I tend to look for, I go 2 support and resistances away. So 2 support and resistances away is going to probably be more than this. But for now, as a new trader, we're just going to have you use 4. If I click the red copy as button, it does the math. I click the blue copy as button, it figures out the math. On these small little trades, I want to make sure I get my full 5 pips. So if I'm at 0.8975 and I am taking a buy, I'm going to go to 0.6980. So I'm just going to adjust this 808 so I get my full 5 pips, modify, and it is in there. Let us keep going. We also said we had Euro AUD, Euro AUD -6, all 4 lines above. This is still a good trade. So I am going to open up that chart. That's a sell. So file, new chart, Euro AUD, not in that top group, not in this middle group. Euro AUD is here. Second row, new order. I'm going to do my order in 2 steps. It remembers what I did last time. So 0.42. Euro AUD, volume's okay. Sell by market. Modify or delete order. Again, it remembers my parameters 5 and 2, and then I just want to make sure I'm getting my full 5. So here I am at 0.6744. If I'm taking 5 away from 4.4, I'm going to go to 3.9. So 3.997. Next one was, let's go back to our chart, Euro CAD -7. This is still good. All these lines are up here. This is a sell signal for 5 pips. So again, file, new chart. I'm going to guess he's going to be down here because he's not one of the majors. Euro CAD, Euro CAD right here. And what I'm doing right now is I have templates, and I'm going to use the templates because I find it easier to see. Second row, new order. Symbol's okay, volume is okay. It was a sell. I'm going to go down, highlight it, modify. It remembers the parameters, so I'm just going to click the copy as, and then I just want to make sure that I'm getting my full 5. So if I'm at 0.5274 and I'm going down 5, I'm going to go from 7.4 to 6.9. So 6.96. And again, I like to see that my stop loss is in, my take profit is in. When this is green, this means that we are within 10 pips of the trade closing. Obviously, it should always be green because we're taking 5 pips. And then the last one we saw was the pound, euro pound, -9. All 4 above. So let's go ahead and take that. So file, new chart. And again, I'm going to guess he's going to be down here because he's an obscure chart. Euro pound. Oh, maybe he might be up a little bit. Euro pound. Here it is. And let's grab one of these other guys. And that was a sell. So the second row, new order. Symbols right, volumes right, sell. I'm going to go down now and add my take profit and stop loss. I right click, go to modify. It remembers the parameters, so it does the math for me. And I just want to make sure the math on the 5. So I'm at 89.55, so I'm going to go to 89.50, and this is exactly correct. So I don't need to modify this guy. Okay. And if I want to show all 4 of these, if I click this guy right here, it should put them up. We don't have this guy. We don't have this guy. Let's redo this so I can look at all 4 of my trades while I'm waiting. And I am going to expect these trades to close sometime in the next hour. What we'll do is when the hour changes in 2 minutes, we'll double confirm the trade by seeing how many points the thick orange line has bumped when the new candle pops up. Any questions? Let's take a look here. Am I concerned about the G7 meeting all day? Yes and no. It's all day. I'm gonna take my chances because we don't have a specific event. We don't have a specific pair that's going to be impacted. So I am going to trade even though that is there. How do you add a currency pair to CoinEx? To add a currency pair, we just go to File, New Chart, and then we try to find the pair. So it's in 3 groups. First group, second group, third group. If you don't see it in this third group, then what you need to do is go to this Market Watch, where you go View, and you turn on the Market Watch. And when the Market Watch is up, if you right-click on it and go to Show All, it repopulates this list. And what's in this list then shows up under New Chart on this bottom guy. All right, so we got a new candle. Let's go back and take a look. 3 seconds. Oh, so we didn't get a bump here. So this guy might take a little longer for him to come into play. He was at -9. He's still at -9. Let's see what else we got. EuroCAD. EuroCAD, we got a good bumpy bump by, if we go back, he was at -9. He went to 43. So this guy will be okay with. Euro AUD, he didn't bump either, -10. So we're going to probably have to, he went from -6 to -11. Ideally, I want a 10-point bump here. So we might have to wait a little bit for this guy to close out. He is moving down, but not by a lot. And then what was the third one was CAD CHF. He was at -99. And what I'm doing is I'm just going back an hour to the top of the hour. He was at -99, and now he jumped to -65. So with this guy, we should be good. And let's take a look. Actually, one of them closed, so that one that jumped to -66, the CAD CHF closed. Oh no, EuroCAD closed. All right. So the EuroCAD closed while we were talking. And as I said, I'd expect these other guys to close during the course of the hour. Can't find Euro GPP. All right, to find it, again, right click, go to show all, then go up to file, new chart, and it's going to be down in this guy. You just have to kind of scroll through and find him. What sort of templates are you using? How do you set them up? On the CoinEx, on the green charts, this should be the one. This template should be the auto default. To set up this second chart, what I do is I take the first chart, I do a file, save as. When I do the file, save as, I am going to name him a new name. And as you see, I did 6 major 2. And I did a D. The 6 major 2 means this is the 6 major second chart. The D tells me that this chart is on daylight savings time. I say daylight savings time. When I right click here and go to chart settings, this should be set to 21:00:10. That's daylight savings time. Then what I do is once I've created the new name, I right click, go to chart settings, and I just change the symbols. So right here is the symbol, then it lists all the symbols. I pick the new symbols that I want and I change each one. Once I've changed all 6, then I resave the chart. And now I've got a second chart with 6 majors. When I open a new chart, the last 14 charts that I've used are shown here. I could either pick it from here, or I could actually type in the name if I remember the name. So 6 majors 2, 6 majors 3. So they're listed in there. If you need some help on that, text me, and I'll connect with you and walk you through it. All right, gang. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week, and we'll see how these trades work. All right. Thanks so much. Talk to you next week. Bye-bye.